My earliest memories are painted with the bright colors of my mother's kitchen. I remember the warm, welcoming smell of saffron that always seemed to be in the air, like a golden promise of the yummy meal coming soon. It smelled like home, like family getting together around a table full of love. My grandma, with her soft hands, would show me how to carefully grind the special red threads in a small bowl and grinder. She would tell me stories about her own childhood in Iran, where every meal was a party for life, family, and all the good things the land gave. This wasn't just cooking, it was like a special ceremony, a way to stay connected to our roots, reaching across oceans and generations. That first taste of tahdig, the crunchy golden layer of rice from the bottom of the pot, was amazing. It was crispy, savory, and I just couldn't get enough of it. For me, it was the best treat, a prize everyone at the table playfully fought over. This simple but much-loved part of the meal perfectly shows what Iranian food is all about. It's about taking simple, humble ingredients and making them extraordinary with patience and care. It's about finding joy in the little things, like the perfect crunch of rice or the gentle smell of rosewater. Every dish tells a story of history, of trade routes, and of a deep love for making people feel welcome. The kitchen was the heart of our home, a busy stage where daily life and celebrations happened. I would watch, fascinated, as my mother easily chopped huge piles of fresh herbs for a stew, the kitchen filling with the smells of parsley, cilantro, and fenugreek. She taught me that the secret to great Iranian cooking wasn't just about following a recipe, it was about feeling the ingredients, understanding how they work together, and pouring your heart into the pot. It was a language of love, spoken through simmering stews and perfectly fluffy rice, a way of taking care of and loving the people you hold dear. This early dive into the world of Persian flavors changed how I understood food forever. It taught me that food is so much more than just something to eat. It's a strong thread that brings family, culture, and who you are all together. It's a way to share stories without saying a word, to welcome a stranger and make them feel like family. The flavors of Iran are strong and gentle, complicated and comforting, all at the same time. They invite you to slow down, to enjoy the moment, and to connect with a rich cooking history that has been made perfect over thousands of years. Right at the heart of Iranian cooking are three special ingredients: saffron, pomegranates, and lots of fragrant herbs. Saffron, often called red gold, is probably the most famous. Its delicate threads give dishes a bright golden color and a clear, fancy smell. It turns a simple pot of rice into a fancy main dish and adds a subtle depth to stews and desserts. I remember my aunt teaching me how to let saffron bloom in a little warm water, watching the liquid turn into a fiery sunset. This one ingredient shows the elegance and refined taste that is so typical of Persian cooking, turning everyday meals into a feast for your senses. Then there's the pomegranate, a fruit deeply connected to Iranian culture and old stories. Its tart, jewel-like seeds called arils are sprinkled over salads, stews, and rice dishes, adding a burst of tangy flavor and a beautiful look. We use its molasses, a thick dark syrup, to make the famous fezinjan stew, a magical dish that balances the sourness of the pomegranate with the richness of ground walnuts. The fruit stands for life, fertility, and abundance, and having it on the table, especially during the winter celebration of Yalda, connects us to old traditions and the changing seasons. Fresh and dried herbs are the soul of many Iranian dishes. Unlike some cuisines where herbs are just for decoration, in Iran, they are often a main part. A dish like gourmet sabzi, the national stew, uses piles of cooked parsley, cilantro, fenugreek, and chives, making a deep, complex flavor that is truly Persian. The traditional herb platter, sabzi kordan, served with bread and cheese at almost every meal, shows how much we love herbs. It's a lively mix of mint, basil, tarragon, and radish, offering a fresh, crisp contrast to the rich main courses and cleaning your mouth between bites. Besides these stars, the Persian kitchen is full of other important flavors. Sour tastes are loved, created with ingredients like dried limes called limu amani, which add a unique earthy tartness to stews, or the tangy powder of sumac, often sprinkled over kebabs. Sweetness comes from dates and raisins, while flour hints are added with rosewater, which perfumes rice puddings and pastries. Nuts, especially walnuts and pistachios, give texture and richness. It is this expert mixing of sweet, sour, savory, and floral notes that makes Iranian cuisine so captivating and endlessly delicious. The Iranian table is known for its generous servings of rice and kebabs, dishes that have become famous for the cuisine around the world. But the rice, or chilo, is never just plain. It's an art form. It's carefully steamed to make long, separate, fluffy grains, often scented with saffron and butter. This fluffy rice is the perfect base for juicy kebabs, from the ground meat kubide to the tender pieces of lamb in barg. I can still smell the charcoal grills from the busy markets in Tehran, where sellers skillfully fan the flames, the smell of grilling meat mixing with the scent of baked bread, creating an irresistible call to lunch. However, the true heart of home cooking is in the slow-cooked stews, known as koresh. These rich, fragrant dishes are the ultimate comfort food, each telling a different story of flavor. There's the gourmet sabzi I mentioned earlier, with its deep green color and complex herbal taste, and the amazing faisanjan, a sweet and sour wonder of pomegranate molasses and ground walnuts, usually made with chicken or duck. Another favorite is gaima, a tomato-based stew with yellow split peas and lamb, often topped with crispy fried potatoes. These stews are served generously over rice, letting every grain soak up the delicious sauces. Iran is a huge country, and its food changes a lot from one region to another, shaped by the weather and local produce. In the north, along the Caspian Sea, the food is more sour and uses a lot of garlic, herbs, and vegetables. Dishes like mirza gasemi, a smoky eggplant and tomato dip, or baghali gatog, a stew of fava beans and dill, are common here. The food is lighter and often includes fish. Traveling south, the flavors become spicier and stronger, influenced by being close to the Persian Gulf. Here you'll find fiery seafood stews and dishes seasoned with tamarind and hot peppers, a big difference from the more delicate flavors of the Central Plateau. This regional variety is what makes exploring Iranian food such a rewarding adventure. In the ancient city of Isfahan, you might try biryani, a famous dish of minced lamb cooked on a special pan and served on flatbread. In Shiraz, a city of poets and gardens, you might enjoy kalam polo, a fragrant rice dish made with cabbage and meatballs. Each province, each city, and even each family has its own special way of making classic dishes. It's a cooking landscape that is always changing, yet always deeply rooted in the traditions and ingredients of its specific place. A delicious map of the country's history and culture. In Iran, food is the universal language of hospitality. The idea of ta'aruf, a complex way of behaving that guides social interactions, is perhaps most clear at the dinner table. It's a beautiful dance of offering and politely saying no, where a host will insist you take more food, and a guest will first refuse out of modesty. This ritual, while sometimes confusing to outsiders, is a deep expression of respect and generosity. It makes sure that every guest feels loved and well cared for. I've seen my father offer the juiciest piece of kebab to a guest, insisting it's theirs, a small gesture that speaks volumes about how important it is to honor those you welcome into your home. Social gatherings, from simple family dinners to fancy wedding feasts, are always centered around a huge spread of food. Getting ready for guests is a multi-day event. The menu is carefully planned to offer a variety of colors, textures, and flavors. Many rice dishes and stews will be prepared, along with salads, yogurts, pickles, and fresh herbs. The goal is to create a show of abundance, a clear sign of the host's generosity and their joy in sharing. It's not about showing off wealth, but about showing how much heart you have. The more food on the table, the more love is being shared. I will never forget the Nowruz, or Persian New Year, celebrations of my childhood. The whole family would gather and the half-seen table would be set with symbolic items for luck and good fortune. But the real celebration began when we sat down to eat sabzi polo ba mahi, a special herb rice served with fried fish. The dish itself is symbolic, with the herbs representing new beginnings and the fish representing life. Sharing this meal with my cousins, aunts, and uncles, all of us dressed in new clothes, was the best part of the year. It made our connection stronger and welcomed spring with hope, joy, and a very full stomach. Ultimately, Iranian cuisine is an invitation to connect. It's a call to sit down, to share stories, and to build community around the simple, deep pleasure of a good meal. The flavors are a way to understand a culture that truly values family, friendship, and the art of being together. So, I encourage you to seek out these tastes. Try grilling a kebab, simmering a koresh, or simply sprinkling some saffron on your rice. In doing so, you are not just trying a new recipe, you are taking part in a tradition of generosity and love that has been thousands of years in the making. Nushijan, may it be a delight to your soul.